Ay. Otra vez. Come here. Let me tell you something. I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. Welcome back to this, your Thursday night edition at 7 o'clock. You know it's the Tampa Native Show. My name is Mario Nunez, and as always, I'm seated here with my broadcast partner,
Sally Nunez.
to my left and to my right,
Steve Canella.
Steve Canella, a.k.a. Tampa Steve, and tonight he's apparently a member of the Ecuadorian football team, as we've all had our fair chance to get World Cup fever. Stevie.
Me gusta mucho football.
Atta baby. We'll give him a little ring
Representing the Ecuador.
because at least it didn't come out huevos frito and arroz blanco.
Well, that's next.
Listen, and we know you guys are out there watching World Cup as well, and maybe some of us are enjoying it more than others. But the truth is that, look, we really don't have quite the affinity, quite the educated palate yet in our country for soccer, for football. We understand that, but man, once every 4 years, in spite of the fact that FIFA is one mess of an organization,
Yes, it is.
I got to tell you, the best thing that ever happened to World Cup is high definition TV. Those uniforms
true.
are amazingly, brilliantly colorful. And the goalkeepers, and well, anyway, I digress. This is the Tampa Native Show after
Yes,
all,
it
and Steve is wearing it. And next week I may have my jersey, USA.
I will not have a jersey,
USA.
ever.
Thank you for tuning in tonight. For those of you that are just joining us for the very first time, welcome to our humble little show. Every Thursday we're here talking about Tampa, the Tampa that we know and love, the Tampa that we grew up remembering so fondly. Steve, safe to say 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even 40s, all the way up to the 1980s?
I would say so. In fact, that's the perfect timeline, I think.
Yep.
That range is perfect. I mean,
It was perfect. It was
Yeah.
a perfect time to grow up in
great,
Tampa.
it was a great time and also fantastic memories as well.
Really
And a great
was,
time to
yeah.
grow up right here in Tampa,
It sure
Florida.
was.
For those of you joining us this week that were perhaps expecting to see Lucy Giovinco, Lucy was unable to make it this week. She promised us she would reschedule and be back on the very next Thursday that she has available. And with Lucy, we're going to be talking about her wonderful career as a professional bowler, also growing up in Tampa.
That'll be interesting.
Tampa Catholic graduate. And you know, bowling, back in the 50s and 60s, as it was big all the way across
Big
the country,
pastime.
it was also very
Yeah.
big right here
Oh,
in
yeah.
Tampa.
It was, yeah.
And we had a lot of uncles and fathers and mothers in some cases, aunts, that were actually quite good bowlers and competitive bowlers.
And we had a lot of bowling alleys too.
We did.
I
We
mean,
There
did.
wasn't a
bunch
lot
of
of
them.
stuff to do for recreation.
Bowling
Roller
leagues.
skating rinks, the
Remember that?
bowling, the
Yeah.
bowling alleys. They usually had a little game room in there.
Yeah,
that we
pinball.
all hung out. So we'll be talking about that when Lucy joins us in the coming weeks. Let's talk a little bit about and catch our fans up on what we did this weekend. Sunday, we celebrated Father's Day.
Yes, we did.
As we celebrated on last week's show, Father's Day as well. So we continued that on Father's Day. We had 4 generations of Nunez men walking in the Richard's Walk. Richard Gunsmark
That's great.
sponsored a
That's
walk
great.
down at Ulele, his new restaurant. Proceeds to benefit Moffitt Cancer Center. and it was to raise awareness for prostate cancer. My father is a prostate cancer survivor, and we just wanted to be there to celebrate that very special occasion. The new restaurant is coming along just fine.
It's beautiful.
The spring,
I
old
can't
spring.
wait till it's ready.
It's going to be mid-July before
Good,
it's
good.
probably open for business. But you know that old spring that was right there that
Yeah.
fed Tampa residents, the aquifer that fed our water system. The city of Tampa has invested money. They've kind of cleaned it out again. They
The
actually-
manatees have found it.
That's what I
already.
was just going to say. The manatees have actually found it.
Oh, really?
It's pretty cool. They posted a
Yeah.
picture on Facebook recently. A manatee, female manatee,
And her baby.
and her baby came up.
Oh, that's
Cute.
interesting.
To the restaurant. So it's right
Wow.
there on the river. It's going to be beautiful, and it'll be open for business in July.
We ran into a lot of people out there on
A
that
lot of
walk,
Tampa
too.
natives
I bet,
there.
I bet.
Martinez brothers were there, and we
Yeah.
were happy to see Rini and his brother
Awesome.
Tony, and they were wearing their Tampa native shirts. So,
And Charlie and Eden Gonzalez.
and they were there as well. They were there as well with
Their
their family. So,
grandchild.
thank you one and all for sponsoring, for I should say patronizing and being there for that wonderful event. And we had some Star Wars sightings that day too, didn't we?
We did.
not?
They were all out.
I think it was 94.9 was there
Yeah.
celebrating with us as well. So it was a very good morning.
They were posing for
Early
pictures.
start to the morning, and it needed to be because, of course, this time of the year it gets
warm.
really hot really
Yeah.
quickly.
Tell me about it.
So on Wednesday, just yesterday, we had the occasion to celebrate with the ladies over at El Centro Asturiano.
Las Damas.
Las Damas del Centro. Stevie, that was your first occasion to be there with the ladies.
It was my first.
Come
my
on,
first
talk
time.
to us about that, man.
I tell you what, I had the best time. I hadn't played bingo like I mentioned yesterday since I was a kid. In fact, had it not been for your mom, who I sat next to, she kind of guided me through the process.
Sure.
And I thought it was just the diagonal,
Oh, no,
vertical.
they play lots
very
of games,
yeah, very
different ones.
complex.
Yeah.
But it was great. I had a blast. One lady, she came up and when she heard my name, she says, her name is Rosanna Garcia Bowers. She said, I worked with your father, Steve Canella, Sr., in the school system for many years. And she had
cool.
nothing but just, fantastic, really, really nice things to say about my dad. And it was good to hear that because my father's been, he's been gone since 1993, passed away. So this many years later, to hear someone talk about my father is really, it means a lot to me. So
Sure.
it was
Well, it
real
should,
nice.
and
was
well, it
real
should,
nice.
and we were happy to be able to
Yeah.
convince you to take a little bit of time off from work
Exactly,
during the middle of the day.
exactly.
And there's all those women.
Yes, yes.
It's
They
a
had
lot of women.
240 there yesterday.
There
We have a
was.
photograph, Steve?
We do. In fact, let's Becky,
Well-
let's bring up number one.
Yep.
We'll start with number one.
We were there. There you see
There they
Steve on the
are.
left-hand side there. Next to Steve is Alyssa
Governal.
Alyssa Governal, that's right. Yours truly. And Phil Nunez, Felipe Nunez on the far right there. The lady that you see above us is Judy Blanco. Miss Judy Blanco has the distinction of being the bingo caller. And man, does she do a great,
great
job,
job, yeah.
of calling those numbers out and making sure. Now, we were back upstairs on the top level there, the ballroom, which had been recently closed for about 3 months while they were remodeling. The bathrooms are all done now. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. And if you haven't been out there, they're celebrating their centennial this year, Centro Asturiano, 100 years. Really, really just wonderful facility, great group of people, and we hope to continue going there each month. Because quite honestly, we're upside down right now. We haven't won one game yet, and we're in the hole. So we're trying to win our money back.
And a beautiful historic building too.
No, well,
It's
that's
just
one of the asociedades, the associations,
clubs,
if you
yeah.
will, the mutual aid societies
Right,
that Tampa was renowned for, really and truthfully, during the heyday of the cigar industry. And this one in particular was to honor those immigrants who came here from the Asturias region of Spain. Of course, there's always the Cuban club for the Cuban immigrants, the Italian club
L'Unione
for the La Unione
Italiana.
Italiana for the Sicilians. We had the Maceo club for the African American Cubans that were here at the same time. We also have the German
German
club
club.
also. So
This was the Las Damas.
Las
correct?
Damas. This was
Yeah.
Las Damas, the ladies of El Centro Asturiano,
Right.
which is really a wonderful history.
Great.
And if you haven't been out there in a while, do yourself a favor
lot of fun.
and swing by.
They're very nice ladies, too.
Today at lunchtime, when we promised ourselves we won't do too much during show day because we've got so much to do, but today we got an invitation.
Yeah.
They made us an offer, Stevie.
We couldn't refuse.
We could not refuse. We'd like to say hello. We've got a couple of pictures we'd like to show to the Greater Tampa Sertoma Club, who invited us out. The incoming president-elect, Mr. Bill McKenzie, presiding. Andy Cannons was nice enough to extend an invitation to Steve to come on out, and myself and Sally, to address this group of gentlemen that you see here. Many Tampa natives there, and they were very, very gracious.
And a fun group too.
Fun group, and for those of you that may not know, as the Lions club deals with children and those that may be in need having to do with vision. The Sertoma Club is just the opposite. They have dealings with those that may need help with hearing and speech. So wonderful club. They do great work.
Mostly with children.
And mostly with children, certainly. And these guys here were just, they were really, really gracious to us today, and the lunch was good.
Right.
Leroy Selman.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's not to say? There you go. And there's Steve making the introduction. And we showed a video presentation today. So thanks, guys, for having us out there today.
Had a great
very
time.
much.
That was a
And
lot of fun.
we would look forward to coming out and seeing you again, especially if lunch is on the house.
That was great.
We have one
Very
one
nice.
issue that's pressing, and then another PSA that we're going to get to before we get to our callers. Callers, get ready to load the lines up. We know that you know the number. We'll give it to you now, 813-977-6800. Tonight's topic is those businesses that had wonderful services dealing with delivery, but not always, just vanishing services. Let's put it that way, right, Steve? Vanishing services, those businesses we used to attend, whether it were the gas stations where you'd run over the air hose and the ding-ding would go off, and then the service attendant would come out and clean your windshield and check the oil while he's pumping gas for you, or something as a lot of us here growing up in Tampa would remember the Charles Chips man, or as we used to call it in my neighborhood, Charlie Chips.
We did too.
Yep.
Real quickly, let's talk a little bit about something that's near and dear to our heart here, and it's the raging controversy that is ongoing and continues, and about every 12 weeks it rears its ugly head, and that is Tampa versus Tampa Bay. And isn't it ironic? We have a couple of images, Steve.
You know, we sure do.
Let's show the first. Hey, you want to go picture in picture with the three of us and that other image, and we can bring that
Picture number
first,
4.
Picture number 4, and then we'll talk a little bit about that. There it is. You know, I can't read it from here, Stevie, on the monitor, but if you can read it there, you might want to. Our dear friend and our historian and our archivist, Dan Perez. I'll read it right here. Dan Perez. You know, every once in a while, Danny gets up on his high horse, man, and no prouder Tampa native there is. And he posted this for all of us to enjoy. And this is what it says. I'll read it to you. It says, now this is what we're talking about. Why is it that El Gallo Grande and Casita Taqueria are in St. Petersburg, but Roy Yamaguchi comes to Tampa Bay when he eats at his restaurant, which is located in Tampa? Why aren't El Gallo and Casita described as being in Tampa Bay? Because they're not in Tampa. This is a perfect example of how the media misleads the rest of the country and the world into thinking our city is named Tampa Bay, because they refer to places and events in Tampa as being in Tampa Bay. If you're going to use Tampa Bay in the regional sense, then why don't you use it to describe places and events in St. Pete and Clearwater? He goes on to say. This is as bad as their article about Howard Avenue being one of Tampa Bay's signature streets in their Eclectic Avenue issue. And he makes a tremendous point, Dan does, because this is what's leading to the confusion, and it's just, you know, if a kid is growing up here in Tampa, he's just 7, 8 years old, and all he hears on the radio is Tampa Bay this, and keeping you safe in Tampa Bay, and the best radio station in Tampa Bay, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play here, and the Tampa Bay Lightning plays here. You know, I can see where a 6, 7-year-old kid might be confused.
Absolutely.
I'm
confused.
We have one more image we want to show you, and if you'll bring that picture up, Becky, this one sticks in our crawl even a little bit more than Danny's. And this picture here is an amazing photograph. It's a cousin to the photograph that we show at the very intro of our show. That's an aerial view, 1967, of Tampa Stadium, Al Lopez Field in the background. Bring that up full, Becky, and I'm going to read this real quick to you. Somebody wrote this in here, and I don't know who it was, but I think his name was Mario Nunez. He writes, beautiful, and all before the confusion of calling our hometown Tampa Bay. It was called Tampa Stadium. It was the home of the University of Tampa Spartans. In fact, you can't see it here, but if you look closely, the band on the field is spelling the name Tampa. And the sweet irony here is this picture was posted by the Tampa Bay History Center. I ring a bell on that because I'm asking, does the Tampa Bay History Center refer to perhaps Tampa history specifically? Or do they talk about the history of Lakeland and Sarasota and St. Pete and Clearwater? I think it's probably more Tampa-centric history, if I'm guessing. But anyway, all right, that's enough. You can have your soapbox back. I'm done for the moment. But let's just be careful, y'all. Let's be really, really conscientious. And when we're talking about our hometown, which we are all fiercely so proud of, that we refer to it as Tampa, because St. Petersburg and Clearwater, I'll venture to guess that you ask the people that work at that wonderful museum, the Dali Museum, that is a spectacular building with the most amazing collection of art, Salvador Dali art anywhere in the world. That building is not in Tampa Bay. That building is in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
And St. Petersburg is fiercely proud of that.
That's the big difference.
As is Clearwater fiercely proud of being Clearwater. So we just need to make sure that we draw those lines of distinction and don't confuse no more people. All right.
Very true. Very true.
All right. And your public service announcement, as we get to 15 minutes into the show, your public service announcement. You know, this Monday, we woke up, day after Father's Day, we woke up to the sad news, the rather sad news and disturbing news that we had lost one of Major League Baseball's greatest ambassadors, and a man whose records may not be broken for quite some time, Tony Gwynn. A lot of you will remember that name, Stevie.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
San Diego Padres, yeah.
A man that was born the same year that, well, Stevie, you were born in December '59, but he was born in 1960.
We're same age.
We were all in high school at the same time, Steve, myself, and Tony Gwynn. Of course, Tony Gwynn grew up in Nirvana, which is to say San Diego. Played his Little League Baseball in San Diego, played high school baseball in San Diego, played for San Diego State University. Yep. And then he came back and he had a tremendous Hall of Fame career in San Diego. When he finished playing, guess what? He went back to coach at San Diego State University.
He never left.
Never left. But now he's left us at 54 years of age. And it's not like we knew he was ill and we had the opportunity to, you know, meditate over that and send prayers of healing and wellness. He just died. And he died of cancer, but they didn't tell us right away what it was, and it was actually oral cancer. All right, Stevie, here's your PSA. Okay. For those of you that are out there that are struggling with this man, that have been smoking for a while, this would be a good time to reevaluate that. One of our dear friends and fans of the show, Ben Crumpton, smoked for 40 years, and he's been smoke-free for 2 years now. This was smokeless tobacco primarily. This was chewing tobacco and dip, as we call it.
Yeah. Baseball players.
No less dangerous. And the MLB would do good to get behind this and say, hey, listen, this would be a great opportunity for us to tell the young kids, don't do this. It's not good. Yeah. Tony's not here to be able to tell us that now. So that's your public service announcement. We're not talking about the occasional celebratory cigar, Red Auerbach, you won a championship, or your brother's had a baby and you're smoking a cigar. That's different. We're talking about smokeless tobacco, and we're talking about a lifetime of smoking. Look, my parents smoked, Steve, for 50 years.
Really?
50 years.
My parents did too.
And they finally gave it up, okay? They finally were able to break it. So,
good for them.
You know, it can happen.
A real brief PSA also.
Yes, sir.
Public service announcement. This is from Joe Abini, skipper Abini. He writes, the internet access is down, no show online. He did call in and talk to the technical department here at TBCN. But anyways, bleeding numbers number 3. So they're working on the internet issue now. So.
Oh, okay. So we're so sorry that that's happening. We didn't know that.
Thank you, Joe.
It bees that way sometimes.
So we hope that everybody who was in Tampa heard all of that. And with 16 minutes past the hour, we'd like to open up our phone lines. Darling, give them that phone number so they can call in. We've got one caller waiting and one line open.
813-977-6800. 813-977-6800.
There you go, and we're off and running. Stevie, you
ready?
ready?
Go. I'm ready.
Let's do this. Caller, thank you so much for waiting. You're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Robert Gonzalez from West Tampa.
Hey, Robert Gonzalez from West Tampa. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
We're doing good.
Thank you.
Your program's about, like, serving people that used to deliver stuff. My father delivered milk and Palmacia for Florida Dairy for quite a long time.
There it is.
That's who came to my house.
There it is. Florida Dairy. Who doesn't remember Florida Dairy?
Yeah.
Right there on 40th Street, correct?
That's right.
Florida Dairy.
And my uncle used to work, used to deliver milk for the grocery store. He was driving the bigger trucks. My father delivered the homes. His route was Palmacia.
Wow.
And what a great route to have, huh?
That's right. They used to give all kinds of great.
I'll bet.
So is it safe to assume, Robert, that in your house, number one, you never went without milk. Number two, you even had the chocolate milk at your house because, you know, chocolate milk was pretty popular too.
Yeah, we used to have everything. And my father used to come home for lunch. And I used to go in the back of his truck all the time and stuff.
Play around.
You know, I used to mess around in the back of the truck. The truck was cold.
Yes, it was. And during the summer, what a great place to hang out for a couple of minutes. What a great story.
Well,
what a great life you
the
had,
que-
Robert.
Yeah.
And the question is, when did the milkman stop delivering milk?
The milkman used to come in the house. How about that one?
60s,
Right?
maybe?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
even
either.
remember when. I think they in the 60s when I graduated.
60s.
Huh?
That's what I think.
Yeah, 60s. I'm
Yeah.
guessing
Maybe late
middle
60s?
to late 60s.
Yeah.
They used to have, and my parents still have it, and it's
an
you know,
antique.
it's an antique now certainly, and there are more than a couple of houses here in Tampa, I'm sure, that still have them.
Probably.
A metal box that used to sit
Milk.
outside the back porch. It was a milk box. It had Florida Dairy on it, and I guess it was either provided for or they charged you for it. It came out of your billing. And they could put it. It fit 4 quarts of
remember
milk.
that. The glass
and
bottles.
You can remember the glass bottles
Yep.
going in
Yep.
there,
Mhm.
and the sound that it would make as
Exactly.
he would drop the bottles in there, take the old ones out, and slam the lid closed as he was on his way back to the truck.
What
It
a
was-
memory.
You know, those are things that we just they stick in our minds, man. That we all experienced that growing
The
up here.
sounds.
Yeah, I remember my father told me that one of his clients was a very well-known family in Tampa, matter of fact, in government and everything, the Antonoris.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that I remember that used to get me in trouble a lot was that one of my elementary school teachers was on my father's route.
Oh, nice. Good. Way to go, Robert.
Not very lucky
No,
for you.
not very lucky for in that case. Not very lucky for Robert.
But you were a good boy, right, Robert?
Yes,
He didn't have much to worry about.
Great, yeah, sure.
Attaboy, Robert. And listen, didn't they have ice cream too? Florida Dairy had ice cream, as I remember. They had those little cups. Remember, Robert?
Oh, yeah.
When you peel the top off,
The
and
wooden
the little
spoon.
wooden
We had
stick,
at
wooden
school,
spoon.
the little wooden
weren't they?
spoon,
Flat
those at school.
spoons.
Yeah,
right?
flat
The
spoon.
flat spoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tear the little cardboard lid off.
There you go,
That's it.
Florida Dairy, man. Oh, what great memories.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Robert, for calling, as you always do, and we appreciate it. What's your Bolita number tonight?
37.
37
37 it is.
Thank you, Robert. We appreciate you.
Thanks for being the leadoff hitter.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Great memories.
was great,
all.
wasn't
Let's before we get to our next caller, Stevie, real quick, run down a couple of businesses, man, because you know this was
Well-
kind of like your idea.
Well, you know,
The show, the topic.
you're right as far as the topic goes. I would say, well, how about pharmaceuticals? Pharmacies.
Yeah.
Pharmacies
They
deliver.
deliver.
Right, they made
Yes.
deliveries.
You know, one of my favorites. I hate to jump in it too soon, but you know, and you mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but Charlie Chips.
Charlie
they also
Chips.
had Charlie's cookies.
Yeah.
Too.
Charlie's Cookies. That truck, when it came down your neighborhood, man, it was just a
Well, it
big
was so
time.
loud. Remember that? In fact, I think I mentioned on the Facebook page that it was really like the UPS of chips.
Yes,
of
it was.
potato
It
chips.
was.
You know, it was
That
it
big
was-
panel
Yep,
truck.
the big
that
panel
big
truck.
panel truck.
In fact, we have a picture of this. Becky, if you can bring up picture number 11, let's show this now before the show.
There it is.
There it is.
There you go. How about that?
Isn't that something?
Who doesn't
Two
remember that?
cans
And I
right
believe, was this something that was just in Tampa, Steve, or was this
Well,
do
I
you
bet
I
it
know,
don't
was
think so. I think it was
elsewhere.
national?
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Was it a franchise kind of a
believe-
business?
I bet it
you know, I don't know
was.
Okay.
how far-reaching it was, but remember the big drum they would give us too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
they would leave that on your doorstep.
There it is
as
right
well.
there.
There it is.
And
We
it
used-
got real greasy toward the bottom
Ooh,
of that.
Oh,
baby,
yeah.
was it greasy in the bottom? But that's what made it so tremendous.
And we would get some sticks
They
and
really
play
were
drums
good
with it.
too.
Yeah, or you'd put it between your legs like a bongo,
like a
like a
bongo drum.
tom-tom, and you could play it that way as well. And in
I bet
my
somebody
house,
still has one of those out there somewhere.
in my house, I remember, Stevie, was it always in the same place? Like on top of the refrigerator was a common place. Ours was in the corner of the refrigerator on the floor. I don't know why on the floor, but
Ours was on the counter.
Ours
Yeah.
was on the counter
Yeah.
too.
Why would you leave it on the floor? I don't know.
because it's so big.
Yeah, where else are you going to put it? There's
You
no
can stand
counter
on it.
space. But
They
it was,
went quick too.
it-
They
no,
didn't
they
last
didn't last.
long, those
No.
potato
and,
chips.
so
and
good.
they
Or
were
the cookies.
They were the most savory, the most tasty
Delicious.
chips.
Fresh.
And now you know why, because when you got to the bottom, all that grease, man, that told you. We actually had a place in our neighborhood, and I'm curious to know if any of our Tampa fans remember this place, or you had a place in your neighborhood that was similar, that delivered buckets of chicken.
I
It was
didn't
called
have that.
Chicken Delight. It was on Kennedy Boulevard there between
I don't remember
Lois and Dale Mabry. And they delivered to a certain little area. And they had like these yellow Volkswagens that were similar to the truly Nolan Volkswagens today with the
Oh, yeah,
ears
with the
and
mouse.
the tail, the
Yep.
mouse. Yeah. Only it had a little thing on the top like a little rooster. And if I'm not mistaken, it had a little thing in the front too like a rooster. It looked like a little chicken.
Interesting.
A rooster.
Was it good chicken?
It was great chicken. What was good about it, Steve? It was delivered.
You don't have to, yeah.
It was delivered. Your mom didn't have
Mom
to cook
didn't
that
have to
night.
cook.
And if you had baseball games, you could call while you were getting your shower, and 20 minutes later, 30 minutes
It
later.
was drive-through, but the other way around.
It was the other way
Yeah.
around. But great services, all. The Miranda's A devil crab, man, that was a service provider.
yeah.
But we
On
don't
his
see that
He was on
anymore.
a bicycle, but
Yeah.
still.
The tamalero, the man, the chino, as we refer to
I
him
remember
in West
him.
Tampa,
Yes.
who sold tamales from his bicycle at the cash and carry.
Yeah, he would say, hot tamale, hot tamale. I remember that to this day. I can still hear it.
These were all services that no longer exist, and it's kind of it just lets us know that times are changing. And these weren't the only ones. So if you know ones that we've forgotten here that we haven't mentioned, call us 813-977-6800.
Phones are lighting up.
Yeah, they are. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey guys, it's David Video calling.
Hello,
Hey,
David.
David, how are you?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good, man.
thank you.
Tell us your. He's a Davis Island guy. I bet
That's
you're going
right.
to tell us about Davis Island Pharmacy right now.
Oh yeah. Well, you might
He's
know
the
I've been
delivery
working there
guy.
for about 13 years.
Yes, sir.
So when I actually do the deliveries.
There he
There it
is.
is. Bell.
We got a delivery man right here with us right now.
Yeah, I want to see if you remember this one from the location where the building was.
Okay.
It was on Cypress in Armenia.
Yes, it's across the street there from the cigar factory.
Yeah.
Cyprus in Armenia. Was it a gas station, service station?
So it was
Cleaners?
Service. It was a service provider. Well, this might give it away, but it was.
Wait, don't tell me. Is it Diety Diaper Service?
There you go.
Oh, I'm going to ring myself a bell.
Diapers.
Where'd that come from, man? Do I pass? Am I the true Tampa native or what, man?
I was
a good one.
so I was much older when they closed when I was much older. But I remember going down that way to visit my tia who lived on Nassau, and seeing that every day with the
Yeah.
little store.
DI-DEE
DEE, yeah.
Diaper Service.
I think my mom got that from
Yep.
Suzanne
And
was
for those of
born.
you that may not know
Yeah.
what that was, that was the delivery service where they would pick up your
Before disposable diapers.
before disposable
right.
diapers. When you wore the rubber
Yep.
pants and the safety pins and the cloth diapers.
And the cloth diapers.
Yep,
Yeah.
they'd give you a hamper provided, and you'd put the dirty
Yeah.
stuff in there. And
I think I'd rather go back and pick up the Charlie Chips containers and not that.
they didn't want to mess with the dirty diapers. But what another service.
That's great.
gone.
That was a good one.
Good
Damien.
one. Very, very
I
good.
remember those Charles chips.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah,
Oh,
they
aren't
were
they
good.
good?
If you got enough of the different size tins, you could make an entire. You could make an entire
Drum set.
drum set.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And in those,
Whole set.
and Chino selling the hot tamales at the cash and carry on
Absolutely,
the memory.
absolutely. Yeah, and the service stations, we talked about it a little bit at the top. It was full service.
Yeah.
You drive in,
your
usually
windshield.
those service stations, and Steve mentioned this earlier too, these kinds of services that were provided by the community businesses tended to be mom and pop owners, so that if I'm just going to say Mr. Alfonso. If Mr. Alfonso owned the gas station, it was his son Johnny
Right.
that was coming out to see if you needed to get your oil checked or how much you get, $2 a low lead, whatever it was, and it was always a family type of a situation.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we know that there are other businesses out there. Maybe there was a hardware store that delivered. I mean,
Could've
maybe
been.
Probably so.
or a nursery.
Yeah.
Maybe you could call up and say, listen, I need 2 pounds of your best fertilizer for my tomato plants, and you would get that delivered. I can tell you that coffee was delivered at one time because Caracolillo coffee was delivered to my grandmother's house. Dry cleaners also used to deliver.
Yeah, we
Well,
have
they
a
still
picture of that,
deliver.
too.
They still
I
deliver.
can't remember what the one was in Ybor City.
Let's see if maybe some of our other viewers tonight are out there listening, and they can call in and let us know. Davian, what's your Bolita number?
Do I even have to say it? or-
46. Come on.
46.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Thank you for calling, and thanks for the Diety Diaper Service.
Yeah, that was
a
good.
one.
That was good.
All right, guys. Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you.
If we can get Becky to bring up picture number 7 and 8 real quick.
7 and 8. Caller, we see you there. Stand
Yeah,
by.
these are the two service stations where you see one person actually there he is, cleaning the windows. But
Yep.
remember,
Look at that car.
and look at that car, yes. And let's do number 8, the next one. Remember when you pull into the service station, you run over that little
hose,
cord,
yeah,
the
the
hose?
hose.
It would ring. They
Yep.
come running out.
Ding,
they,
ding,
they
ding,
raise your
ding.
hood,
Yep.
check your oil, clean the windshields.
You should trust your car to the man who wears the star.
Or how about-
the big Texaco star?
Hey, that's great.
Very nice, darling.
Hey, what about the days when you can actually pump your gas and then go pay?
That too.
Now,
Well,
you
those
do-
were the trustworthy days
That's
where
right.
people had respect and.
And I'm
you
telling
could
you,
do
man,
that.
these were jobs too.
Yeah.
Let's look at it this way. These were jobs.
Yeah.
Whether they were, you know what I mean, the delivery jobs, whatever they were like now, the McDonald's, I can't remember the last time I ate at McDonald's, was 5 years ago. There's one on Hillsborough on 22nd Street that currently, right now,
right.
you can go there and on your way in to the store, you can text your order.
oh no.
They'll have it ready for you. presumably you walk up to the counter, there's an express lane, and you swipe your card and they give you your bag of food. Is it just a matter of time before there's
No one
a
leaves
whole,
their
there's nobody
house.
there working. Everybody's working behind the magic wall. And it was like the kitchen at the Kentucky Fried Chicken that was on Henderson and Dale Mabry.
Yeah.
You in the dining room, you sat in the dining room, but they always shoved out the little boxes of chicken through the little hole in the kitchen. You know there were people
Yeah.
working back there, but you couldn't see them. Only this time it's going to be unmanned. So you walk into the McDonald's, you have a number, and you put your number in the computer, and you swipe your card, and it's like the automat. This thing's going to spin around, and I was going to pop a bag of fries and hamburger. So, well, that's what kind of service is that?
Just make your own hamburger while you're there.
Well, and I'm going to go so far. I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to say this: that I think the businesses that are going to thrive in the next 10, 15, maybe 20 years are those that are going to maybe reverse the clock a little bit, turn the clock
Hopefully.
back,
And give
Right.
more service.
and give
Right,
more
right.
service. In other words, I think the pendulum has swung as far out, the self-service has swung as far out as it can possibly go.
Now it's heading back.
And now maybe we're going
That's a good point.
We're going to appraise more going into a restaurant and being tended to, or going into a shoe store, and being, may I help you?
Yeah.
May I help you? All right, so let's go to caller on line 4 that's been waiting for a little while. Caller, we see you there. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name's Violet Fernandez.
Violet Fernandez, so nice to have you call the show. Is this the first time call for you?
Yes, it is.
Oh, welcome.
There's your bell rung. Violet, listen, talk to us on the phone, and don't pay attention to that man on the TV, because that little 7-second delay is going to mess you up completely.
It's tricky.
Okay, I'll put him on mute.
Put him
perfect.
on
That's a
mute
good
and talk
idea.
to this
I
guy,
tried
which
that
is,
at home, but it doesn't work too good.
It doesn't
which
work.
is essentially the same guy. Violet, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm a native from Ybor City, and
Wonderful.
my father used to deliver kerosene.
There you
Ah,
go.
yes, yeah.
I-
Another family-owned business.
We had one deliver
Too.
in our neighborhood, Felicione Fuel Oil. Was it the same
Yeah.
company?
No, he used to work for Golf.
Gulf. That was the
yeah.
other big competitor, Gulf. That's right. We didn't talk about
I
fuel
remember
oil.
that. Yeah.
Everybody had kerosene heaters,
yeah.
Violet.
They did.
Yes. And he used to go in the estuary to fill up his truck,
Wow.
his own truck. And a lot of times he'd let me go with him. It was so much fun.
Of course it was,
But
for a girl to
interesting,
be
too.
with her daddy and,
Yeah.
and be at work.
Yeah, right.
Now, I can tell you on personal account, my daddy worked at the Columbia restaurant. When he came home on Friday nights, there were times when I'd give him a big old head. I was so happy to see him. And then I realized, Daddy, when did you start buying the cologne that smells like caldo gallego? Because he came home smelling like the kitchen. Did your daddy come home smelling like fuel oil?
Yes, he did.
Right, right?
And I want you to know, they used to nickname him Gasolina.
Gasolina,
yeah.
that's perfect.
What a great
That's
nickname.
awesome.
I'm going to
That's
ring the
awesome.
bell for Gasolina. That's a great nickname. Forget it.
That's great.
What great memories.
Oh,
Well,
it was.
thank you so much for sharing that. Listen, first time caller, did you know that our show was, how did you find out about our show?
Well, I'm a dama, so
Oh,
There you go. So we
okay.
saw you yesterday.
yes, I was here yesterday.
Nice,
Wonderful.
nice.
Well, thank you so much. And you know, Judy always does a great job of
Yes.
inviting us up to speak to the ladies and to tell everybody a little bit about us. And we really appreciate that.
Bolita
Yeah.
number.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And before you go, please let us have your lucky Bolita number.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 75, we're going to give something away here at the end of the show.
34.
34 it is.
Bingo.
Thank you so much. What great memories. Another great service gone by the wayside.
There you have it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Violet.
Calling.
Bye-bye.
What a nice call.
Isn't that good?
That was great.
You know, but the fuel oil, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember that tremendo?
The hose.
I'll say it in Spanish, and I'll try to find the literal translation for it. Tremendo manguerazo. It was a hose.
Big hose.
Yeah, long, man. It was
Does that go to
probably
the
200
backyard?
feet long because he'd have to go from the curbside, pull it behind him, man, and walk all. And Violet's
backyard.
probably going, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Walk all the way to the backyard.
To that big.
And
The
they had,
drum,
drum.
the metal drum,
Right.
fill it up with the fuel
they had,
oil
the, had the two concrete braces,
Yeah.
remember, on the
on
back?
both
where-
sides.
yeah.
Fill it
It
up.
was not
on the
attractive
house.
at all.
He'd write the, then he'd take the hose and go back to the thing, and automatically it would
Yeah.
coil itself up.
Yeah.
Then he'd write down on the ticket, come and give your parents the ticket, and your parents would pay for the fuel oil. That was Tampa back in those early days. What amazing
I know,
memories!
but it's-
We've got another caller
there's
on
so many.
5. Keep those calls coming, ladies and gentlemen. We know we've hit a nerve tonight.
Definitely.
Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Bruce, South Tampa.
Hi,
Bruce
Bruce.
in South Tampa. How are you, Bruce?
Good to hear from you.
I'm pretty good. I just tuned in late. Are y'all talking about things that were services that were delivered to your house growing up?
That's
Yes.
correct.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say what the previous caller said, fuel oil.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I remember it was Bob Sims.
Yes.
Bob Sims.
In our part of the world.
That's
down
right.
there in
That's right.
South
Because you
Tampa.
guys were neighbors
Yeah.
in South Tampa. That's right. Bob Sims.
Yeah, I recall the name.
Yeah.
It was a real competitive business because, all of Tampa needed that service.
I think that was family owned too.
I'm sure it was.
The
I'm
Sims.
sure it was.
Yeah.
The tank they used to fill it in was right outside my bedroom window.
Nice.
Oh.
Did you ever worry that it would spontaneously combust right there by your bedroom?
Now I do, but
Yeah,
But
back
nobody
then,
thought about that
nobody
back
worried
then.
about that stuff.
it's a good thing I wasn't smoking in my room.
There
and
you
I
go.
had to put a cigarette out the window.
Yeah, can you imagine?
55
Hey,
gallons
listen,
drum.
we didn't worry about chasing behind the mosquito truck on our bicycles either, bro.
We didn't worry much at all.
You know what I
really.
mean? We didn't have any.
We had no worries,
No, no.
really.
And once we stopped using that fuel oil, after a few years, if it
Yeah,
dried
rusty.
out sufficiently enough, and somebody in your family was good with tools, man, you could cut that thing in half and make it into a barbecue pit. You know what I'm saying?
I
People
think
did that.
there's some of
Did that.
those
Yeah.
still around.
Yeah, they
You
cut
see
it, put
'em.
hinges on
Yeah.
it, put a grill, and there's a barbecue pit.
Yeah.
Wonderful stories.
And I think physicians used to make house calls way back
Yes,
in the day.
sir.
they did.
Yes, sir, they
You're
did.
right about that. Yeah.
That little black bag, I remember distinctly. We had one come to my house, and I'm sure all of y'all have the same type of memories. I don't know if vets made house calls, though. I don't know if vets made house calls back then, but doctors certainly did. You know who else came to your house, Bruce? The man to collect the insurance. Remember that big old book he used to carry with him when he'd bring his big old book and he'd come and collect your $2 or whatever it was for your
Encyclopedias.
parents' premium?
It was like a debit route or something.
Right, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And you know who else came to your house to collect? The newspaper people.
Yeah.
The people that threw the newspaper in your front yard.
And
But
the
they were
mafia.
usually people from your neighborhood.
Yeah, they
I
were
mean,
your
everybody knew each other back then.
Great memories. Wow, Tampa was special, wasn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah,
Those were
they
the days, my friend.
got
Well,
that
give us
right.
your bolita number, Bruce.
Let's go with 47.
Oh, he's going with
Ooh.
Boulevard.
That's competing with
Boulevard, number 47.
Damien.
So, and he just blocked Damien now. Damien was 46, so he just blocked him
That's
without
right, he
going
did.
over. I know your strategy,
That's a good
Bruce.
strategy.
I know what you're doing over there. We see you over there.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for calling, bud.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye-bye
care.
now.
Bye.
Great memories.
How about Jimmy the Pony service?
Jimmy the
Yes.
Pony?
Remember that was just a certain.
Get your picture taken
Get
on
your
the
picture
pony.
taken on Jimmy the Pony.
Yeah, and it was done for quite a number of years.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right, it stopped maybe late 60s.
And neither one of us have one of those pictures, which is really aggravating.
And I have a
And
bunch.
Steve's got 15.
I know, you have
and Steve has
14
15.
million pony
so
pictures.
if we've forgotten a service that you guys remember out there, please give us a call. 813, we've got a line open, 813-977-6800. I'm racking my brain to figure there's got to be some more services
I've got a good one.
that we're forgetting.
I have a picture number 10. Do we have time?
Sure, we got a caller there. Let's go to picture
Becky,
10.
let's bring up number 10.
Here we go.
A lot of people will remember this one. La Cantina
La
service.
Cantina, of
How about that?
course. Meals on Wheels, basically, for adults.
Yep.
Not for aged adults, but for families on the go. They didn't necessarily have time, and I don't know if they had the equivalent to
didn't
this
have that
in
in
North
South
Tampa or
Tampa.
South
No.
Tampa. This was real strong in West
Yeah.
Tampa.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that
had
makes
that.
sense.
Seminole
though.
Heights and Ybor
Yeah.
City. Called La
yeah.
Cantina, and essentially it was a food service, a pre-cooked food service delivery. You'd have there. You have
It came with a
three-
menu. You would select what you want for
That's
the week.
correct.
Because we
That's
had it for my sisters and I. We had that for about 2 or 3 months while my mother was working.
And it was
in
very
the summer.
good, wasn't it,
Oh, it was
Steve?
delicious. Mostly,
Sure was.
mostly Spanish food.
Sure.
Yep.
Yellow rice and chicken.
Yep.
Boliche.
Yep.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Plátanos maduros, and then you
was
can
a
see
treat.
there's 3 different canisters
Yeah.
there, and they were all locked in with that handle
Right.
that threaded through
was-
the 3,
it-
and it usually was delivered warm.
Yep.
What a great service! Another
Very
great
simple.
service, man, La Cantina. And I think somebody's trying currently to revisit that business. I think they're bringing that business back, or trying.
They
to
almost
at
need it
least.
now because we're all so busy.
I know that's so true. That's so very, very true. Let's see who's on line 4. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is PJ Testa.
Well, sure it is.
Hey.
That's Mr. Testa.
how you doing, guys?
Hey,
Great to
hey,
hear
PJ.
from you, PJ. Tell us something that we've forgotten, PJ.
Well, I don't know if you consider it delivery or not, but do you remember when doctors used to make house calls?
Yes, somebody just touched on that before you did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I muted my TV to be good.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Very good. You get a bell ring for that. Thank you. But yes, they used to come to the house and
When I was a kid, the doctor used to come to the house, bring their medicine. Mm-hmm. Yep, and you'd get a shot or whatever you needed.
that's
Wow.
what I was just going to say, PJ. I remember distinctly, I don't know, I was sick. I guess I must have had a high fever or something, and my mom she called the clinica, and the clinica sent the doctor, and the doctor came over, and I said, "How am I going to get a shot in my house? This isn't. I got the shots at the doctor's office."
That's kind of scary.
Was it
I
a little
think,
scary?
sometimes.
A little kid?
Yeah.
Tremendo needle. It looked like it was about that long. Of course, it
yeah.
wasn't, but and it was the old glass syringes. I mean, it was this thing.
Yes.
Was.
And it hurt when you got a shot.
Yeah, it didn't feel good.
No.
It wasn't.
I think it still hurts, actually.
It still hurts.
Wow, great times though. Growing, and
Yeah.
Sulphur Springs must have had its own little unique,
Sure.
things that pharmacies. We talked about nurseries earlier. Did they deliver by any chance pizza? I mean, pizzas weren't delivered back then.
No.
They weren't delivered back then.
Yeah, you
We
went to
went
the
to eat
restaurant to eat because that was a big deal.
That was,
Pizzas weren't even invented back when I was.
Come on.
Yes, they were.
They were.
I know you used to go to the pizza
funny.
parlor on Del Mabry. I know this about you.
Yeah.
We all did.
Not delivered. No.
No, not delivered at all. Well, thank you so much for calling and remembering the doctors who made house calls. We appreciate it.
Bet.
What's that Bolita number?
That's the good work, guy.
Thank you. What's your Bolita number, PJ?
Let's go with 22 tonight.
Oh,
okay?
right, 22. That's
Good
Emmett
one.
Smith. If it's just
It is
name
Emmett
popped
Smith.
into my head. Thank you,
right.
PJ.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Take care, PJ.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, do you remember Showtime Pizza?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
I can't remember where it was. Was it on Del Mabry? I think it was on Del Mabry. Not sure.
Gosh, Showtime
don't
Pizza,
remember.
ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen. Who's out there yelling at the
Somebody will
TV right
remember.
now? We got 2 lines open, so if you remember where Showtime Pizza
Can't
was.
remember. It just
I
hit
do
me.
remember Showtime
I remember
Pizza,
the name,
but they
I can't
didn't
remember
deliver,
where.
did they?
Oh, no, not
Okay.
at all. Just,
all right.
We were talking about pizza, so just
What
hit
else?
me.
Dry cleaners. Dry cleaners delivered for sure.
You know what?
Cleaners in general.
Let's bring up picture 13, Becky, if you will.
13.
This is Dry Cleaners. This is the Pioneer
And
Fonte family.
And a Tampa name for sure.
Look at this.
Around
Now this
forever.
looks like it was probably in the 40s, Steve. Look
Does
at that.
look
Yeah,
like the
it's gotta be.
40s.
1940s.
Yeah.
And that's the patriarch of the family there, standing there. That's old man Fonte, as it were.
It might be IG or for
Ignacio?
Ignacio, most
Ignacio,
likely.
right?
I believe. I'm not sure.
But I mean, the business, the family business,
Oh, yeah.
thrived for the next 40 years. I mean, they were in business. I remember they had the account at Tampa Highline Fronton, and they would come in there every day and bring the jerseys. They'd come in, take the old jerseys, sweaty
Exactly.
jerseys out. bring
What
in new
about
jerseys.
uniforms? Didn't they deliver uniforms?
Like public safety uniforms,
Like
Darling?
where we used to work.
Well, that's like Martin Uniforms did that, didn't they?
They
Well,
did
we
do
had-
that.
businesses
I think
mainly.
They did.
We had we used to deliver the uniforms to the Tampa Police Department and to certain fire
Right.
stations. That I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they still do something like
know.
that. Probably everything is mailed now.
Right. Well, Robert Gonzalez mentioned early on grocery. He delivered groceries. In fact, Becky, bring up number 15, if you will.
Oh, okay.
That was a big thing, too, that people would deliver groceries
Sure.
to the residents in the neighborhood. In his case, it was Palmacia.
What a great service. And here
but
we
here-
go,
here
Joe
we
and
go.
Son. This is one of our sponsors of the show. So apparently,
Making a delivery.
making
They
a
made
delivery.
deliveries
There you
too.
go.
Huh?
You would think back then most places would.
Now,
make
won't Publix
deliveries.
do that now?
I don't think
They
so.
Not to my
stopped
house.
that.
They used to have, well, they didn't have delivery, but they
yeah,
had curb service.
Yeah, and it didn't pan out like what they thought.
Right,
it was
yeah,
gonna, so
right.
They don't have
Where
it
you could
now.
pre-order your your groceries.
Call it in or whatever.
Yep, and send it in on computer, right?
Yeah,
Send it in by the
yeah.
email.
Yeah.
They'd have it ready for you at a designated time. You pull up, they swipe your card,
You didn't even get out of your car.
don't even have to
Look
get
at
out of your
that.
car. They
Wow.
deliver it right there. I don't know. There's something very. I like to go
something.
shopping for my. You know
I
what I
know.
mean?
Yes. I
Most
know.
people. There are certain things that you just have to do yourself, and one of them is grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's true, too. I agree.
Wow, look at our callers, man. They're responding
look at
to
this.
us tonight because they're remembering stuff. And they're probably, one of these is going to tell you where Showtime Pizza is.
Oh, you know
Which
what?
caller do we go to next, guys? 4 or 5? Here we go. Caller, you are on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Temple Terrace, and my name is Dorothy Maggio Fazzari.
Dorothy Maggio Fazzari. Now, that name is not familiar to us as a previous caller. Is this your first time calling?
Yes.
Look at that. Stevie, tonight this
lot of
Bella's
bells
getting
tonight.
a workout
I know.
tonight. We
Welcome
love
to
it.
the show.
That's not to say that Maggio and Fazzari are not Tampa names
Yes,
that we're
they
very
are.
familiar
Yeah.
with.
Maggio is a very familiar
Yes,
name. Ask
yes.
Steve, and he knows.
I'm related to Maggio.
Oh,
so-
no, Tampa. Stevie's related to half of Tampa. We knew that. Hi, Dorothy. Thanks so much for calling tonight.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit about maybe a family business or a delivery service or services in general.
Do you remember when they delivered the bread, and the bread truck used to have the drawers where they had the pastries,
No, I
the
don't.
delicious pastries?
Wow,
You know
that
what,
sounded like a good
Dorothy?
deal. I
We
don't
have
think
Dorothy.
they
We
We have
have
a picture.
I'm
Number-
only sorry that I don't remember
Yeah, that
because that
sounds
sounds
great.
amazing.
Picture number 9.
It's a
Vicki.
long time ago.
Yeah, but listen, the panaderias,
How
as we knew
nice,
them in the
though.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
How great that you could, there's Wholesome Bakery.
Yeah, there it is. I remember Wholesome Bakery.
But that truck that you're talking about, Dorothy, sounds like a specific
Little
truck, a
different.
little bit
Yeah.
different. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, no, it wasn't Wholesome. It was before Wholesome.
Oh, wow. So this was like
That's
the neighborhood
yeah.
bakery.
Like in Ybor City, where they put
Family
the Cuban
bakery,
bread
maybe.
on the nail. Remember?
And they
They
come
were big bakeries, but they just delivered,
and pastries.
I had
too.
an uncle that delivered vegetables and fish.
Wow.
And fish
Oh,
too.
wow.
That's right, because we had so many, the Aglianos,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
Mirabellas,
Lots
the
of them.
Matassinis, they all had the fish business.
Exactly, exactly. But my uncle was, my grandfather's fish market was Giuliani.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Look at Steve. I see him nodding.
Yeah, he remembers. He remembers.
I know. And Dorothy, I need to talk to you. I think we have to have a
How
conversation.
about if maybe your wife will remember this? Of course, she's so young.
Oh, yeah.
When they
Thank
had
you,
the
Dorothy.
leaf, where you used to pay for the girls to get their hope chest
Oh, yes.
Yes,
I do
yes,
remember
yes.
that.
out
Yeah.
and deliver the linens.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
I do
great.
remember that.
Dorothy,
great.
your call tonight has
Great
really been
call.
a big hit
Yeah.
tonight with us. We thank you so much.
You're
How did you
welcome.
find out about the show?
Oh, it's wonderful. Wonderful. Of course, I live in Winter Haven, so I don't know too much about, this, but my sister-in-law does.
Okay.
Who's related to Steve.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Listen, before we let you go, you have to give us your lucky number between 1 and 75. We're going to give a gift away tonight.
How about 7?
7.
Lucky
it's
number 7,
yours.
Mickey Mantle.
How about
Dorothy,
that?
thank you so much
That's
for
my
your
number.
call. It's been a
Oh,
highlight to
nice.
talk to you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Wonderful
you, Dorothy.
show.
Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Bye-bye
Appreciate it.
now.
Bye-bye.
Hang on just a second
Okay,
because
darling.
I have to tell you and all of you out there that we are a little past the 15-minute mark.
Oh.
Man, that 15-minute girl
So you're
got
the-
us
you're the-
again.
She's a 12-minute girl
We've
now.
got a lot of callers today.
We
so that's a
love
good
our
thing.
callers. Hey, make sure we don't miss any emails while we
Oh,
go to
let's take a
caller
look
on
here.
line 4. Caller, thank you so much for holding. You're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good evening, crew. This is Mike Balua calling from Tampa,
Hey.
Florida.
Yes,
hey
it is.
there,
We know
Mike.
that voice. Hi, Mike.
How you doing, guys?
Good,
Hello.
thank you.
Hello.
Hey, I know that we had talked earlier in the week, Mario, and I just wanted to bring it up again because it was a service that no longer is with us. It's not that old, but the video rental service. It was a big thing for us to go out to the local mom and pop operation on Columbus Drive or on Manhattan or on Henderson, Video Vista, the one at Arena Plaza. Make a night of it, go over there, get a couple of movies with the kids, come back with some popcorn. That was family night for us.
Oh, that's great.
Great times. Great times. And
Yep.
it was. And, before we had where you could just dial it up or
Netflix.
video on demand or Netflix. Yeah, it was absolutely get in the car. It was
It was
kind
an
of,
event. It was an event
Right.
for us for many years. I would say probably during the 80s and 90s and stuff like that.
That's a good one.
It just, technology rendered that whole industry,
Yeah.
useless now.
You're right.
Mike, would it be a stretch to say that experience that you're describing, we experienced it because we're the same age. We experienced it a generation before, piling in the car to go to the drive-in.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there's another one. I mean, that's an industry that's gone also, the drive-in.
Yes, yeah.
What a
There's
shame.
a
drive-in
couple
industry,
left.
we have one or two left.
Yeah.
We love
that.
that.
Was certainly, family night out. And
Family night
Yeah.
out.
yeah.
And a service,
And
and a
then,
service.
and we could, and again, another industry that we talked about the other day, the beeper industry, and going to Beepers R Us,
Beepers.
West Side
Oh, yeah.
Communications on Spruce Street,
Beepers.
places that were staples in the community for many years.
The GTE.
And then they just disappeared,
Go so fast. They go
Wow.
absolutely so fast. Thank you so
Scary.
much for calling,
Got
Mike.
it, guys.
What's your
Listen,
number?
you got a number?
We got 33 if it's available for me, and 18 for Cindy if it's
There you
Okay,
go.
you got him.
And listen, if I may say so while I have you on the phone, felicidades, feliz cumpleaños to your mom, Palmira,
Ah.
How about that?
who just celebrated her
birthday.
birthday.
También.
A
And
big
she looks
birthday.
great, by
She
the way.
does.
So please,
87 years old.
Wow.
please
Yeah.
tell her,
That's
please
great.
tell her that her Tampa Native Show crew
Wish her a
sends
happy
her
birthday.
love and happy birthday.
I tell you, the response to that post was overwhelming, and it's wonderful to know how many people remember her.
There you go.
That's great.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Talk to
you.
you. Bye bye. Gosh, our show's coming to a close. We've got another caller.
Hey, how about ice?
boom.
Ice deliveries.
Ice,
Oh,
because
ice.
the
What about
ice,
ice?
the Iceman delivered.
Yeah. The Iceman did.
Not just the Western Union
Yeah.
telegram guy, because he delivered as well.
Right.
Western Union.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caller, thank you so much for waiting. We've got you on line 4. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
It's Big Mike from Orlando, man.
Oh,
Hey,
Big Mike. Hi,
Hey,
Big Mike.
from the
How are you?
past. We've missed you, Big Mike.
The streaming is a little choppy tonight, but
You know, we understand that there were some issues early on. We hope that they resolve them. Can you at least watch us a little bit?
yeah, it's kind of frozen up right now. But that's okay.
okay.
I've been catching bits and pieces, you know. So
Good.
the guys look great, and I miss you guys a lot.
Thank
Miss
you.
you
We miss
too.
you
Same here.
too. We listen. You and me will talk about this later after the show. But I talked to Sandra today, and we're on our way. We're making some inroads there. So, spoiler alert to our fans out there that are watching: we may have the opportunity here before too long to have Mr. Gugino in studio with us. 104 years young.
that's
Wow. awesome.
What wonderful stories that man will be able to share with us. We're working on that behind the scenes.
Right. And you know what, Mario? He lived right next door to the Konas, and Mike Beluga was just talking about going to the drive-in, and you know, 'cause the Konas are the ones that had the station wagon. You know.
Of course, somebody had to have one.
Yeah, we know they had so many boys that I couldn't always get to go with them.
That's right. That's right.
The station wagon. There we go. But and you also mentioned at the top of the show about Chick Delight.
Yeah, Chicken Delight. Do you remember that, Mike?
Yeah.
It was in
You
our
know what? I
neighborhood.
was in New Jersey, and I lived in North Bergen. And their song was "Don't Cook Tonight," called Chicken Delight.
That Bella's getting
Another
a
bell.
workout tonight.
That's great.
Thank you for validating my Chicken
Yeah.
Delight story, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. It was good chicken, too.
Yeah, good chicken and French fries.
But I meant-
Wow.
Food, man. You know what I'm saying?
But let me tell you something. If we could figure out a way to get Dan Goods to deliver those boxes
Oh,
of whatever
I
they
miss Dan
because
Goods.
Dan Goods was
The
tremendous,
subs,
too.
they had good subs.
They had good subs, they had good hamburgers, their fried chicken was good, and they serve it to you in that little box like Mirabella's seafood. That was takeaway, you know, that was take-home stuff.
Yeah.
But
That was the way to do it, man.
yeah,
you
it
know?
was.
I miss all those times, all those places, you know,
So
those
do
big
we.
memories, boy.
Tell
I
me
gotta
about it.
tell you.
Great memories. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling
Bye,
tonight.
baby.
Give us your number.
You got it. Well, I'm going to do 63 Selman, and my wife wants 29.
63
Okay.
and 29
Thank you.
for Sherry. Okay, thank you so much,
That's
Mike.
wonderful.
We really appreciate you calling, Big Mike.
All right, man. I hope we can get together sometime. So I
Please.
know I've been
We have
saying it
to.
for years, but we're going to do
We
it.
have
Come
to.
on,
Yes,
man. Come on.
we're
Don't
waiting.
wait.
We're
Don't
right
wait.
here.
No time like the present.
Yes. All right. Love you, man.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye-bye.
If anyone would have known about Chicken Delight, it would have been Mike.
No, but he also said that when
Right.
he lived in Bergen, New Jersey, they had it up there.
They had it there,
Makes
too.
perfect sense,
Wow.
man. And I remember the jingle as he's singing it.
For sure, right?
33, I think.
Oh, I thought he
Did
said.
he say 23?
I thought he said 23.
Okay, 23.
Yeah.
I think that was right.
Consensus,
Okay.
23.
Okay.
5 minutes to go. Wow, guys.
Wow. It flew by, huh?
I am breathless. Let me make sure that I mention that Spain and England, España and Inglaterra out of the World Cup. The defending champion, gone. England today, gone at the hands of Uruguay. Why do I mention that?
I don't
Nobody
know
cares
why
about
you're-
World Cup soccer.
Why are you mentioning that?
But it's exciting.
What about Ecuador?
Still alive.
Okay.
Ecuador, still alive with Stevie's shirt. Let me go ahead and... 63
Oh, thank
and
you.
29.
Thank you,
for
my
that.
son.
We have T-shirts are available. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this shirt right here. T-shirts are available. Right now, currently, we have large, extra large, and 2X. Okay, we have some available. If you need mediums, if you need smalls, let us know, and we'll order that the next go round. But go to our website currently. You'll see that there's a Pay Now button or a Get Your Shirt
Get your
Today
shirt now,
button. Yeah,
or
Get
today.
Your Shirt Today button. It's right there on our website, tampanativeshow.com. Delivered to your doorstep. Talk about delivery services, huh?
There's another
Next week's show will be a compilation of sort of our greatest hits show. We'll replay that again next week because we're going to be on a break from our live show. Remember, we broadcast for 12 weeks straight, and then we take 1 week off in that 13th week. Darling, get the bolita balls. If you'll be kind enough to hand me that recycle shopping
I
market
will do
bag.
that.
We're going to pick our winner tonight before we get out of here. Stevie, hold that up there in that 3-shot
Definitely
right
will.
there. Darling, I'm going to let you pick the winner tonight, closest to without going
All
over.
right.
There you go, Steve.
There we go.
And remember also that at 8 o'clock you can flip over and watch last week's show, which was our Father's Day celebration. Darling, you do that. Father's Day celebration, that's
There
Verizon
it
Channel
is.
36 and Bright House 949. So you get 2 hours of the Tampa Native Show tonight. Bet you weren't ready for that.
All right, the number is number 24, and that would be Mr. PJ Testa.
There he
PJ
goes,
Testa.
PJ Testa.
All right.
Winner,
Congratulations.
winner, chicken dinner. Or as we used to say in the old neighborhood, chicken delight dinner. I don't know why I said that. All right, PJ Testa's our winner tonight. Oh,
And
wow, what a great
what a-
show.
what a
Callers,
fantastic show. Thank you,
so
everyone.
much for calling in. We had new callers tonight.
We did.
We had out-of-town callers, Big Mike.
The bell never stopped ringing?
No,
Return
we-
callers that we hadn't heard from for a while. Big
Sometimes the bell doesn't get that much action.
No,
but
not at all.
tonight it certainly did. T-shirts available, Stevie. Anything else that we've forgotten?
No, just a reminder that the website to reach us or contact us, goodtimes@tampanativeshow.com.
Email.
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 The
and the
website
website.
is tampanativeshow.com.
Absolutely.
All the good stuff that you missed and you can't wait to see.
Yep.
There you go.
The show, and this show will be up on the website probably by Sunday, so you'll be able to watch it in replay on
probably
Sunday.
sooner.
Steve is pretty good about that. He's
Steve's
our
very
IT
good.
guy, and he's responsible
Pretty
for
darn
that
good.
website. And as he likes to say, if anything you need to know about our show, just Google Tampa Native Show. Google Tampa Native Show, and our website
Comes
is
up
the
number
first
one.
one that pops up there.
So real easy.
you can't miss it. And of course, tampanativeshow.com is pretty easy as well. Wow, what a great show, guys.
Well, thanks.
Let me just,
It was fun.
Let me go over my notes and make sure we haven't forgotten anything. If you know of any businesses out there, and or you are a business owner yourself, and you'd like to be a sponsor here with us at the Tampa Native Show, reach out to us and let us know. We're always looking for new sponsors. And
Oh, you know what?
we've got some exciting things coming up in the near future.
If we have a second, Becky,
Please.
do you have time to bring up picture number 5 real quick? We left this one out.
Oh,
This is a
please,
great
let's
one.
show this. Let's show this 5 before we get out of here. Oh, there it is.
yeah.
How about
Ice
that?
cream.
Emilio Garcia Jr. this week said he thought that business was on Florida Avenue.
Florida- oh, really?
I believe that's what he said. But look at that.
Lang's Ice
How about home delivery service for ice cream?
Well, that's before the ice cream man.
That's a hell of
Yeah.
an ice cream truck, I'm going to tell you right now.
That was the original ice cream man.
I believe it
guess.
is.
Yeah.
Looks like about a 12 passenger
The whole dairy's in
bus
there.
there. What a great, thanks for showing that picture,
Yeah,
Steve.
definitely.
That's
Yeah, that was cool.
Lang's Home Delivery Service.
I would have been remiss if we had missed that one. So.
Yeah, we'd have
you
been
would.
upset that you had been remiss. Okay, 1 minute to go. Well, as always, we want to thank our crew for coming in each and every week to help us put this show
Thank you,
together.
guys.
That's Becky Yatta, our technical director, and our producer, Damian Garcia, who is our phone screener tonight. Those of you that called in spoke with Damian. And Nick Nunez is working our sound bus, making sure that I don't overmodulate when I get excited and scream, and Steve and Sally sound great. And we're just happy to be with you. Next week, we're going to be taking a week off. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new live show. Stevie?
Wow, can't believe it.
Great show.
Thank you.
Very good show.
Awesome.
Yeah. it's
So,
fun.
once again, on behalf of everybody that puts this show together, the crew, and I'm Mario Nunez, this is Sally Nunez, and this is Steve Canella. Tampa Steve, the 15-minute girl. Salute and
Salute
happy days,
and
Tampa.
happy
We
days.
love you.
Yes, we do.
And we'll see you next week. Oh, no, 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
That's right.
Thank you, all of you, for calling tonight. We really appreciate it.
Bye-bye now.
Good job, buddy.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Salud.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, I remember, yeah, me and you. I'm a Tampa native, Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history.
All right now, don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.